After leaving Formula 1, Nico Hülkenberg has really taken off in his new motorsport career.
On a governmental team-building away day, Boris Johnson attempts to keep his cabinet on their toes.
And as the Ferrari F1 drivers leave the factory, we suspect somebody has really got it in for Sebastian Vettel.
I'm Charles Sturgis.
And I'm Will Plows, and welcome to another episode of the Drive-By Podcast. Another episode, Charles.
We're going with another episode rather than episode 15 or whatever this is.
Oh, 15 actually, aren't we? Episode 15, but we decided once we get to like episode 52, it'll sound like a bit of a drag, won't it?
Yeah, so welcome to an episode.
Yeah, you'll have to keep up to date.
It's going very well. I threw my F1 knowledge, my F1 notes away.
Just before you...
that was the only thing I needed.
Just before we started filming, you scrunched up and then scrunched it and went, oh, where's my F1 notes gone? And then down there on the floor. Yeah. Sums up the F1 news though. Really.
It does. Honda have dipped.
They've pulled out.
They've cashed in, they've taken their chips.
Yeah.
And going back to the hotel room.
They've left.
The hooker that they ordered is gone. I'm not sure where I'm going with this analogy, to be honest.
I'll bring it back on track. They said they're leaving because they doesn't fit in with their strategy anymore.
No, they don't.
Not going where they want to go as a company.
Electrified. They want to be electric.
Maybe they'll go to Formula E and make batteries.
Possibly, but it makes me quite sad to think that this could be the end of Formula 1 as we know it.
Yes, it could be.
Because Renault...
Cyril.
It's a good old cerebral despicable or whatever.
Pronounce his surname.
Abitable. So I think what Red Bull might do is get the IP for the Honda engine, the intellectual property, and brand it as something else like Renault and Benetton did. Benetton took Renault engines and branded them as something called Supertech.
Was that with Flavio?
With Flavio Jesus Christa Flavio Briatore. I'd love to talk like Flavio. He has.
You don't do a bad accent actually.
Jesus Christ.
To give you a compliment on the show, you don't actually do a bad accent.
Thank you very much. Should I do the whole episode as Flavio Briatore? No. In the 1990s, we took the IP of Renault and turned it into Supertech. So it was called Supertech, and then Benetton bought and turned it into something called Playlife. Which sounds
like a low-cost porn magazine.
Sounds like a low-rent porn magazine. Yes, big subscriber, Flavio.
My favourite thing.
I love my Flavio.
I hate it. My favourite thing about the Honda pulling out of Formula 1 is now Red Bull.
Honda pulling out to let it out all over the grid. Sorry, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. Honda.
Carry on.
Honda pulling out. It's the funniest thing though because
on the grid.
Because now, remember 2 years ago when Christian Horner had to go to Cyril, and say I don't want to choose your engines anymore, and it all got very awkward. We're going to move to what was it, Honda? Now, Red Bull, if they don't do the IP thing, don't do a Flavio, we'll have to go back to Renault and say. Can we have your engine, please?
But they'll have to do it. Formula 1 will make them.
They will, because Renault only make engines for Renault.
Yeah.
Is that right?
No, they make Renault
least amount of engines for other teams.
McLaren don't run a Renault engine, do they? I think they do.
Are they not Honda?
No. It's only the two Red Bulls.
A Honda
and AlphaTauri.
Ah. Who did McLaren with?
Renault.
It's not. Is it?
£5?
No, because that comes to my next bit then. Yeah, rounding off Honda pulling out, Charles owes me money. Last week on the podcast, I said that Schumacher will go to Alfa Romeo.
Mick, that is.
Oh yeah, Mick Schumacher, not Michael. Not driving. Mick Schumacher will go to Alfa Romeo for practice.
And what's he done? To AlphaTauri.
Yeah, and what's he done? Gone to Alfa Romeo. £5. And same for Callum Ilott as well.
Who?
Callum Ilott, Formula 2 driver. Can't remember who he drives for. But he's doing the pass.
Oh.
So at the Turkish Grand Prix, look at him. Look at both of them, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But he's following, I think, Mick Schumacher the same path as Charles Leclerc.
Yes, yeah.
Charles Leclerc was at Sauber, wasn't he? He then went into Alfa Romeo with Kimi. And Kimi is now confirmed for 2021. Signed? Yeah, signed for 2021.
Kimi will be there until he dies.
Yeah, he will.
They just go, come into the race, I go and go.
It's not Flavio Briatore, is it?
Another Flavio Briatore voice.
Yeah, I'll do this. Anyway.
I can't do Kimi Raikkonen.
I can't do Kimi Raikkonen either. I don't want to do Kimi Raikkonen, to be honest with you.
I would. Kimi Raikkonen is probably the most attractive.
Maybe Raikkonen.
Kimi Raikkonen is probably the most attractive person on the grid. Would you not say? Not that I'm particularly interested in that, but if we're talking in hypothetical terms, probably Kimi Raikkonen. I'm doing this because we've got knack-all else to talk about in F1.
No, nothing else to do. You've got Turkey coming up.
They're not having fans after saying they were going to have fans.
But now on the quarantine list, aren't they? My theory's out the water. Remember my theory when I said they'd be doing quarantining wherever the Formula 1's not going?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, stupid.
So now that's my theory.
£5. I think Kimi Raikkonen is probably the most attractive man on the grid.
It's definitely the most experienced.
Charles Leclerc has a very good-looking girlfriend, and he's not. He's got a sort of a.
He's not a
He's got a bit of an overhang. What do you call it?
Overbite.
That's the one. Yeah. He's got a bit of an overbite, which might be Nicky.
Where's this drive-by podcast going?
I don't know. I think judging by what we've got coming up, it's all getting a bit sexual this episode. But
it is, isn't it? With our news.
I know.
Stay tuned for our news. I think that's where we end our.
What? Andu said news.
Yes, some motoring news, and this week I'm opening it with a theory. Right, so there's a disease.
Theories.
You love my theories. There's a disease going around called coronavirus, and because of this, you've heard of it. And the government have put a 10 p.m. curfew. Everyone knows about the 10 p.m. curfew, and the theory of 6 people anyway. After 10 p.m, there was on BBC News I think it was in York. There was loads and loads of people in the street party going to offies and buying and partying in the streets. Basically, like doing like a little riot because it can't be in pubs.
Party riot.
Riot in the streets, not abiding to social distancing at all whatsoever. So why don't the government employ homeless veterans and use ex-MOD vehicles to go and stop them? You think you get an ex-MOD tank fitted with a water gun on top, driven by an ex-veteran who used to drive these tanks? So I was doing some totting of my knowledge.
Well, a Scorpion costs about 30 grand, doesn't it? A Scorpion light infantry tank, 35 grand.
Yeah.
So what's the maths on that?
Well, there's 1,700 homeless veterans. I was doing some knowledge on this. And so if you employed those...
Yeah.
And give them some housing...
Yeah.
And then give them a tank...
What, fitted with a water cannon?
Yeah. Or don't have to decommission it. Don't have to decommission it if you don't want to. These bloody vagrants, well, not vagrants, are they? But these bloody people breaking lockdown laws.
Yeah. And
they go around to York and to Bolton, wherever it's going right, Nottingham.
Right.
Just going around with these decommissioned tanks with water guns on top.
Well,
the old veterans. You're solving unemployment and you're solving homelessness all in one. And you're solving lockdown restrictions. I think Boris will be watching this. Boris, if you're watching this, I'll personally employ all of these people and give them tanks.
I reckon that, what's the UK defence? A couple of $100 billion? Something like that? If you took $1 billion and spent it on tanks, old tanks that you could just use, what would you... 30 grand? I reckon you'd end up with about 35,000...
Yeah, about 35,000 tanks.
Tanks, and what? That would pretty much cover the whole of the UK.
You could probably do homeless and unemployment in veterans as well.
You could, or you could just anyone. So
just going around at 10 o'clock at night into these big cities like Nottingham, York, Bolton, wherever it's really bad, and just going around hosing everyone down the street.
So you're saying that the Watson family having a barbecue on their front lawn, they get blasted into their front room.
Because the uni students can't go back home.
Because they've got 7 people out there with them.
Exactly. And we go to Corbyn's household because he had a party of 8 people the other day.
Oh really?
And you
got Mrs. Hobbs going to the shop and she hasn't put a mask on yet. She's just getting out of a handbag. Boom! Gone. Absolutely. Okay, I can kind of see it's sort of a 2-in-1 thing. Plus, I think it would, tanks on the road.
I think it would really work.
Not quite martial law.
No.
Okay, I like that. A coup. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think that would work really well. Boris, if you're watching, employers.
I think you've done that already, right? Come on. Surely you've got something a little less.
Yeah, I'm now going to tell people to turn off if they are Steve Irwin fans.
What the hell are you on about today?
Right. Steve Irwin, the Australian explorer, wildlife enthusiast who sadly died with a stingray attack. Anyway, Corvette are now charging people more money to have a carbon fibre stingray on their cars.
So you're saying that's offensive to fans of Steve
Yes.
Irwin?
Yeah, so usually it's an optional extra. There's $100 if you want to have the normal
silver Stingray type
on the side of your Stingray. If you want a carbon fibre, it's $495 just for a little Stingray on the side.
So by that working, then the leader of the Cherokee Native American tribe doesn't like Jeep.
No, hates them. Absolutely hates them.
Hang on a minute, I've got the Lamborghini. The devil doesn't like Lamborghini because they made a car called the Diablo, and because it's driven by yuppies.
Yeah, exactly, from the devil's cellar.
Hang on, wait. Aztecs don't like Pontiac because it's such a crap. Are there any Aztecs left?
No, they've all been destroyed, haven't they?
Oh, right, okay. So
I hope they've all been destroyed.
If there are any Aztecs around, they don't like Pontiac because that car was crap.
Yeah, very true. What else is there?
People who don't have any legs don't like Austin. Allegro.
You're really clutching at straws here.
Cut
we'll go to the next story. Yeah, just how much they're charging for a little Stingray on the side. Offensive to Steve Irwin fans, I think. That
Allegro. Right, okay, good. That's marvellous.
What have you got for me?
I've got some taxi-based news for you. You're going to be taking your favourite genre.
I can see where this is going.
Your favourite genre, Sutton Bespoke. The people who do Clive Sutton luxury cars are bastards. Bastards, because they nicked my idea.
Really?
I had the idea. Take one of the new electric cabs and deck it out. Fridge, telly if you want it, leather.
A sat nav that has all the quiet places around the UK.
Leather clad, shag pile.
It's got a shag pile.
Apple TV, PS4, fridge.
And secret cameras in the cabin. What is it going along?
I don't know anything about what you're on about, definitely. So they're going for a higher class of pornographic actress, I think, this particular. Really? Yeah, I think they're going with sort of, because instead of it being sort of girls from Birmingham, it's sort of a bit more
girls from Surrey,
girls from the leafier counties,
girls of the King's Road.
Yeah, I think that's probably. But it, on the top, instead of saying taxi, I think his name was John. The taxi bit on top that lights up now says VIP, which I think is stupid. But if it's privately owned, it's going to cost 120 grand. If it's not, it's 100 grand. Yeah. So if you want to be a chauffeur, but if it's 120 grand and it's a private car, not registered as a taxi, which is how I would have done it, you can't drive in bus lanes, surely. You can't use
what taxis actually, can you?
So that completely, you're just driving around in a black cab sitting in traffic. When you could be in a black cab zipping around there with some
on shag piled carpet being watched by secret cameras
with some girl called Lucy. Never mind. Okay, carry on.
And a really dirty cab driver going along.
I like the idea of that, but I think you could do it for less than 120 grand.
Really? I'd do it for free.
I'm sure you would. More pornography.
Really?
Yes. Have you seen the new Aston Martin V12 Speedster? It'll be there. It does look good, doesn't it? I was reading about it.
Good.
That is exactly what Aston Martin should be doing.
Exactly.
Enough of this retro crap. Build lunatic cars.
It hasn't got a windshield though, has it?
A windshield?
Hasn't got a windshield. America. So now, if you're late for supper on the way home, open your mouth, catch some flies.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put a helmet on, but then you're gonna look a bit about. But the trouble is,
look like a helmet.
They're all gonna go into collections and they're going to be sat in some millionaire's garage because it cost £765,000. It's not cheap.
Really?
Yes.
They had a proper nasal voice.
They've not just chopped the roof off.
Really?
Yeah, it's all that. They're
chopping your bank accounts off as well.
It's been inspired by fighter jets with the livery of an F-18 Hornet.
And a specially designed helmet in the driver's seat.
Exactly. 690 horsepower. I know, that does sound
manual
good.
Transmission as well.
So that does sound really good. I don't know actually.
I don't think it will be.
I don't think, but it does look good.
It looks awesome.
I think it looks very good.
It is proper pornography.
It is. Do you want to know what isn't pornography?
I bet
What's coming up next? Khan
can't design cars.
No, they can't. Well, I didn't know that Khan were owned by Chelsea Truck Company. So two companies that have no taste.
No, it's all his though.
Oh, is it all?
It's all his.
Right. So this thing called Khan Design have done a Defender. This is pornography you don't want to see on your history, on your search history. It's not good. 70 grand, and you get.
So it's not actually as expensive.
It's black. Khan making a black car. No
really?
Way.
Has it got big gaudy body kit on it?
No wheels, big huge wheels.
Really?
Orange bonnet, orange interior.
What's it called?
Vesuvius. They're calling it a Vesuvius edition, so it's all orange. It's like our orange. Do you like our new poster?
I really like our new... We haven't mentioned it yet, have we?
No, we haven't. And I also hate DHL. No, DPD delivered this. DPD, and they threw it over my fence, and they've dented the frame, so they're sending me another one.
Yeah, I never heard about that when it happened.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so back to this Defender thing. It's going to have orange interior, orange. You can spec it how you want. So they said the interior can be modelled on whatever you like. Say your favourite cashmere scarf. They can have it or if you want, the people who are going to buy that, you could model the interior on your favourite male mono thong. You know, the one that has just the strap there. It's obviously a thong. Jean Provocateur. They also on the car that they demonstrated it on has the number plate 1DBT.
1DBT.
1DBT. You can have.
What does that stand for? One. Don't buy this.
Don't buy this. No, it's all right. But you can have that. You can keep that on the car. If you want to buy it, it'll cost you 23 grand.
23 grand.
Yeah.
But funny fact, the guy who actually owns Khan, Mr. Khan himself, had the number plate F1.
Did he?
And it was worth £1 million.
Yeah, worth £1 million. What, 10 years ago? But
yeah.
Worth a lot more than that.
Yeah, but he was the only guy, obviously. But
I will also offer you another number plate if you want on that car.
What, DBT?
You could have 1TW. Tasteless. That's what I go with. Right, so there we go. We've insulted Clive Sutton, we've insulted Khan, we've praised Aston Martin, and what else has happened?
A tribute to Steve Irwin.
A tribute to Steve Irwin.
And we've solved the homelessness crisis throughout the UK and lockdown and the spread of the coronavirus.
I think in the space of about 10 minutes, I think we've done pretty well there.
This car podcast is doing more than what we aimed out to do.
Absolutely.
We have serious consumer advice right now, and government advice.
Should we move on?
Drive by destroy?
Because you're rambling at this point?
Yes.
Move on.
Drive by destroy.
So, drive by destroy for this week.
What have we got this week?
Since we were talking about military vehicles and your plan to do whatever it was you were going to do.
Oh yeah.
I thought you'd do military vehicles that you could use as daily driver.
These would be quite hard to destroy, won't they?
Won't they? So I think that's what we'd do. So first of all, we have that is the Humber Scout World War II
looking thing.
It's cute, isn't it?
It's really, really cool.
I reckon that's probably about the same size as the Mini Countryman now.
Do you know what? You actually might be right.
I think that's about right. I saw the new Mini
brilliant.
Countryman the other day. They've just made it really beefy. I'm not sure about
big.
that. It's big. It's
same size as the original Range Rover. I think you've told me once.
I told you that. Anyway, so there we go. There we have the Humber Scout.
That looks awesome.
2.4 tons, even though it looks like the size of a pint of milk.
2.4 tons. I was expected to be heavy that because it's all armour.
It's with 14 millimetres of it.
Really?
14 millimetre armour. Well segued there. Excellent. 4-wheel drive, obviously.
Yeah.
They also made a similar thing called the Daimler Dingo. What a cute name for a military vehicle. Is that the Daimler Dingo? They reckon there's only 20 of these left in existence.
Well, I think about 4,700 made. So 20 are left. Do you know why 20 are left?
Why?
Because in the 1960s, they were far ahead of us doing destroying. They used to use them as targets for tank gunners.
Oh,
so tank gunners used to like roll them in front, and they'd use what was it called, a Humber Scout, to target them and shoot them with them.
How sad.
That's how they got all destroyed.
You imagine being the person who has to drive that out onto the field where they're being shot at. That's the most sad drive you could ever do. Poor thing. Look at his little face.
Its little end.
It's got a sad face as it is. It was only a little 2-seater job. But it had a third seat for the radio man, I think, in an emergency. Light Bren gun. You use a little light machine gun on it. So that's the first one.
Second one?
Daily driver. Second one is this, which is the Husky.
That's a weird looking thing.
Modern one, American made.
It looks very American.
It does look very American. It's actually called the Husky MXT MV. Military Extreme Truck Military version.
Catchy, I like it.
Catchy, it rolls easily off the tongue. 230 horsepower for a 6-litre V8.
Really?
Yeah, it's not it's
not very quick, is it?
No, but it was only a little 4-seater job. That's sort of your urban SUV. You can do the school run in that.
It's just not very good looking. It's
Do you
not
know
a
what
very.
that
It's not
front
very
reminds me
aggressive.
of?
It's not an aggressive
Yeah,
military
but look
car.
at the front of that.
It's very American
It's
truck.
got indicators. Do you remember a couple of episodes ago we did the Infiniti QX56?
Oh, God, it does,
That's
yes.
got that front end.
It's got that boring front end with
It
the
has.
headlights that've got no kind of styling to them.
Well, it's, I mean,
The back looks quite cool, isn't it?
It does look quite good. It'd be good for the school run.
It would be good for the school run.
Yeah, how much? I'm not entirely sure how much armour that had on it, but probably quite substantial. So that is the other one that we're going to do. I mean, that's a good school run vehicle, that. And the last one is...
Oh,
I
the
know,
Schwimmwagen.
The Schwimmwagen, the Volkswagen.
I love those things.
I
absolutely love those. Yeah, those things, they only had 25 horsepower, those things.
Oh, no.
And on the land it went 50 miles an hour, but guess what it did on the water?
What?
6.
Oh, really? Oh, excellent.
6 miles an hour.
But you see, for reverse gear, it had four-wheel drive, but only in first and reverse.
Oh, really?
And it had no reverse swimming gear, so that's why the paddle's there.
What if it wants to be a stealthy? You're a little bit too far. Yeah, people's... I think they've seen us now.
Oh, they've seen us now.
Right.
Designed by Ferdinand Porsche, so you can see the styling to it.
Yeah.
Very, very 911-y.
Very Beatly, isn't it? But my favourite fact about this car is when the designer who went it, Hitler demanded him to come in and show him it, Hitler went, it's cool. Do you know what it needs though?
It's cool.
Yeah.
Did Hitler say it was
Hitler,
cool?
Not in those exact words. It's
right,
cool.
Okay.
So
cool, yeah.
So they wanted it though to go to the Eastern Front.
Oh really?
To be against Russia, because it's the next on from all the motorbikes they use for reconnaissance.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Hitler saw this and goes, yeah, it needs a mosquito net because everyone's getting bitten. And then the general stood next to Hitler when he said this, got bitten on his cheek by a mosquito, and then Hitler slapped him across the face and killed the mosquito off his face.
Really?
Just after saying that needed a mosquito net.
That's weird.
Good fact though.
It's a good fact, but is that one of those
weird, obscure
stories
facts
that they say happened but didn't really happen?
I'm not saying anything.
Have you ever tried to slap a mosquito with your hand? It's quite difficult.
Never ever hit it.
No, exactly.
Never ever hit it.
So I think that's probably showing that. Look at Zafir. I
think he was just really angry with the general for bringing that to him.
But hang on, why would he send it to the Eastern Front where there's no water there?
Because there were Fords.
No,
not
that's a VW. That's a VW.
So I'll be too quick from this.
They reckon there's only a couple of hundred
sugary drinks this week. Charles.
They reckon there's about 160 of these and 140 are in museums. So there's quite a few knocking around.
20 people out there have got those.
Have got these just as their daily driver.
Do you think their daily drive goes through a Ford and that's why they need it? They've told their wives.
You drive through a Ford. You drive through a Ford very easily, but that's for going down a canal.
Ford.
I think it's a great idea.
That's an awesome thing.
In comparison, the Willys Jeep had 60 horsepower.
Yeah.
Which is still really quite low.
It's very Willys Jeep-esque, that sort of thing.
It is. It's really cute. So what would you do out of those?
Ooh, as I said, very, very hard to destroy. In 2 ways more than one, but I think I would destroy the Husky.
Oh, poor.
Yeah, the Husky.
It's got such a cute name.
It's the American thing.
And it's quite ugly.
It's ugly as hell.
But you got to think about it as your daily driver.
I am doing.
Oh right. Okay.
I wouldn't want to take my child to school in that thing.
I would.
It's not. Just everyone would think you've got a tiny Husky down there.
Well, you got a big gun though.
You have got a big gun.
You've got a big gun on top. And you've got 5 burly blokes. Actually, I know.
I see why you want to buy this car. Yes, I'll be destroying the Husky just for that very reason. I just think it looks awful, in my opinion, and it's big and brash in America and everything I hate about the car.
What would you be driving?
Driving, I would probably drive the Volkswagen Schwimmenschwimmen.
The Volkswagen.
Schwimmenschwagen. So I'd love to just take it down the river.
Do what? Down the river?
Take it down the river. I could go anywhere in that thing.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. But you're not going to get there quickly, are you?
Yeah, but I don't get anywhere quickly.
It's not exactly what you'd call fast. But
no, it's not at all, is it?
No.
But it's a cool looking thing.
It is a cool
It's
looking
an awesome looking thing.
So are you going to be what? Buying the Scout?
I think that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It's not very styled, is it? It's just sort of welded together.
That looks like a car.
I'm sorry, mate, but I think they all look like cars.
No,
because I've included them on the drive-by podcast.
That looks like more of a car than the other ones. Maybe less.
More than that. That just looks like
a stupid American.
That looks
truck.
like a Hummer.
It does look like a Hummer. Actually.
Well, it looks like a sort of the Hummer's bastard child.
Yeah.
Because that's.
No, I'm going to go for the Hummer Scout because I'm saving it from being destroyed from the tankers in York when they go around.
That's commendable.
Yeah, exactly. I'm never going to drive it in anywhere that's got bad lockdown laws. So
yeah, exactly. You're going to get shot by your own plan.
Yeah.
I would probably drive the Humber Scout, because it's just quite cute and it's got quite a little lovely little face on it. I think I would destroy the Husky, to be fair.
Oh, same as me.
Yeah, I'd destroy that, and then I'd
you don't
buy
want
the
5 big
Shrimp
burly men around you with big guns.
No, with big weapons. Big weapons.
That's your idea.
No, I'd use the Shrimp. It's a great daily driver. The Nissan just moved.
It's been drawn towards it.
It is, yeah. It just moved. So that's what I'd do. I'd have that.
Why would you have that?
I don't know where they put the spare wheel on that.
On the front.
But yes, the
most
moron. Where would you put the spare? Has it got a spare? Yes, it does. Not one of those inflation.
Spare propeller.
Well, I don't think it would come with a spare propeller, but the propeller, look, you can actually see it in that picture. It just sort of folded down. I had a model one of these when I was a kid.
Did you?
I did. It was great fun. But yeah, that's probably what I'd have. Look, it's even got a number plate as well.
I wonder what it says on it.
Schwimmenschwagen. What would you have in your number plate?
Mosquito.
Don't destroy 1 DBT. 1 DBT.
1
from the Land Rover.
1 DDT.
Could be 1.
Don't destroy this.
No. I can't think of anything. I'm very sorry. I'm sure it was going to be
He should have prepared his jokes better this week.
I should have done. But I actually really like that. Paddle's a bit stupid, but as a pub car, it'd be great.
That would be a fantastic.
Because there's no drink driving laws on the river. On
there's not,
water.
No.
So you go to a nice little pub that's sort of where the canalists go, where the houseboatists go, and then you drive there, get rat-arsed,
and then swim back.
Take your your friends back in the Schwimmwagen.
The Humber Scout would be a good pub car as well, because they couldn't ask you to get out of the vehicle. They couldn't see into it in the first place.
Yeah, well, you got a Bren gun on the roof as well, so
they're not going to come near that, are they?
No, they're not. But the Schwimmwagen, I think, on a practical basis, works pretty well because it's not
all terrain to get to the pub.
All terrain to get, so you could go off road there, not technically driving on the road. Gear. Only in first gear. No, you're not going very quickly. And then, that's true. Yeah. But on the way back, you just go down the canal. That's a good idea.
That is depending on living next to a canal. Are you living in Birmingham?
No,
you guys live in Birmingham with that thing.
Oh no! I've got to completely reevaluate.
I'm from the Midlands now.
What?
That's my Birmingham accent.
Oh right, okay. So there we go. That's what I'd do. I'd be driving the Scout, destroying the Husky, even though it's got quite a cute name, and I'd be driving around in the Schwimmwagen piss pub.
Driving around and swimming around.
Lovely.
Having a whale of a time.
Excellent. Right, so there you go. That is the episode.
You look like a fish out of water.
For today. I've got a new poster coming.
A new frame?
No, they're sending me... Because I contacted them. I spent 25 minutes on hold
to DPD.
I
bet that was fun.
And then I said,
what was the music like they had on their...
It was the equivalent of someone leaning on a piano multiple times.
Drunk.
Just banging away on the piano. It was awful. So I listened to that while I was doing some other things. Yeah. And then I got through to them and like, where's your address? What's your package
all that
number?
Drivel that they have to
when were you born? All this sort of crap. What's your pet's name?
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh no, sorry, that's a Vistaprint problem. Plug for Vistaprint.
not a plug for Vistaprint.
No, exactly. They got to talk to Vistaprint. So I call Vistaprint up, spend another 15 minutes on hold. They say,
what was their music like?
Do you know what? I don't think it was. I think it was just like, you're through to Vistaprint.
Oh, okay.
Please hold.
You're caller number 345.
Yeah, exactly. So then I contact. This is riveting shit,
isn't it?
But then they said, oh no, yeah, we'll send you another frame. No worries. But like, we can't send you the frame without the poster. We have to resend the whole order.
What? So you got another one of these?
So I've got another one, and they refunded the first lot of delivery because it wasn't delivered properly.
Really?
And then they're sending this one delivery free, and next week.
The Drive By Podcast, home of good deals.
It is, but what I should have done is gone, actually, if you're there and you're going to send it to me all for free, I've got 15 other things I quite like. But if they just packaged it in something,
I saw the box it came in. It was like paper.
It's just like thick paper around it. But if they packaged it properly, they wouldn't have had to spend another 30 quid in sending it to me. See, I'm very committed to spending money on this podcast.
You are investing heavily. Next to invest in this content as well.
Excellent. Right. I'll invest in a new co-presenter.
Please. I think that's a good place to end.
Thank you very much for watching the Drive By Podcast.
Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, notifications.
No, hit the little bell. Don't. So yeah, do join us again next week where we'll be doing more car-based drivel. Thank you very much for watching. Check us out on Instagram at Drive By Podcast. Check myself out at Charlie Drives.
Good plug and a good mug.
new content. I've got and blog now as well.
He has thecharliedrives.com.
Charlie Drives has already taken. Some bastard has already had it.
Yeah, you. Probably.
No,
when you figured out you got your password on your last account.
I'm the Charlie Drives, and then there'll be the Charlie Drives 1, and so I forget my password again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you couldn't figure out what your dog's favourite teddy was like 13 years ago for your security password.
www.thecharliedrives.com for more written based.
You did the Project 8, didn't you, last time?
Yes, I did. I drove the Project 8.
Which I got spammed with photos with.
Oh yeah, I wanted to make you jealous. Yeah, I took that round Mallory Park
job.
and wrote a little bit about that.
Yes,
but thank you very much. Check us out on the Instagram, and we will see you all again next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.